day from Adam doing the initial short prayer that we always have. We would ask that we see, I told you I couldn't do this.
You can do it. You do it.
Getting to me. Our clerk's husband is in U of M hospital, having experienced multiple strokes. And we would ask that as you say your prayers in the evening or the morning, or just sitting here, that you would keep him in your prayers for a speedy recovery. I have a nephew, a grandson, I'm sorry, who is also undergoing some things, and the prayer we have between us is prayers for progress. And I would hope that you would include Brent in your prayer for progress. So thank you very much.
Heavenly Father, with the intentions also stated by Carolyn, help us to make the right decisions for Oklahoma County. Amen. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Yes,
Here,
Johnson,
absent with excuse.
Roman. Here. Breggy,
Here,
Small.
here. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the October 4th meeting. Seconded. Moving and seconded. Any questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. 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 All those opposed? Motion carries. Let's move into public comment. 3 minutes per person. Please identify yourself and your township. Yes, sir.
Scott Stevenson, Falls Township by night, Everettsville City by day. Wanted to know we have a little issue with vehicle fleet management. We ordered 2 vehicles in January and they did not become available before the strike, and I don't think they're gonna make them now. The plant that makes Ford Interceptors is shut down with the strike. We've been told that those vehicles are not gonna be available, and we probably are not gonna get any until 2025 from Ford. So in the meantime, I've been kind of freaking out like other law enforcement management. So we did some calling around and found that MSU Police has at least 3 vehicles right now available that are used. The cool thing about them is they turn them in at 55 or 60,000 miles, and they're a little bit older than we're used to getting. They're 2018s, but they're well equipped, not everything, but nearly everything. And they want 23,900 for them. The good news is I could pick up 3 of those for less than I was going to pick up 2 new ones. I think we could probably get 2 or 3 years out of these vehicles, so I think I'm going to go in that direction. Just as I walked over, the undersheriff said there's 3 available now instead of 2 because somebody turned one down. So I think I'm probably going to head in that direction. I don't need any changes to my budget or anything. We budgeted for 85,000, 3 of them, 71,700. So it puts us in pretty good shape, and I think it gets us ahead of people that are just kind of realizing that we're not going to be able to get vehicles. The other sad end of that is that parts are running out for repairing vehicles. So car gear crashes are critical right now. We're not going to be able to fix things here real soon. I've got one over there that's not damaged very bad, but we're not sure we're going to get parts to fix that right away. So if you don't have any questions or comments, I think that's the way I'm going to head. Instead of buying 2 new, I'm going to look at buying three used ones here this fall.
Put me a little pickle. We're not supposed to have comments and questions on it.
I understand that. I think I'll probably just be letting you know that's what my plan is. And if you have any concerns outside of public comment, you can let me know. In the meantime, I'll run over and get those signature copies of that contract for you up here. Thanks.
Anybody else public comment? Anybody online public comment? Oh, nobody's online. Oh, that's new. All right. We'll move on. Jessica, we're waiting for, she can't make it in person, so she's going to zoom in as soon as, oh wait, there she is now. Maybe, well, it came on for half a second. John's hooking us up. Jessica's from Northeast Michigan Community Corrections Program Manager, and we have to renew contract or grant. Go ahead, Jessica.
I apologize for not being able to be there in person. I've been sick for a few days. So I am just asking for a resolution for our community corrections program. And that basically entails us able to go into the Elkona and Iosco jails to work with inmates who have been sentenced with a felony to, we utilize cognitive group programming. We help them get their GEDs. And that's the only thing we're really doing in Elkona County right now. It's kind of new to the area. So we're just asking for another year of the approval of the grant, and hopefully we can have some good numbers by the end of the year.
Okay, is this something we did last year?
Yes, it was on there last year, although with staffing changes within NEMCOG, we were unable to actually get over there. So this year we are hoping to have between 5 and 10 new inmates and hopefully complete some programming.
Okay,
Be aware that we have our contract with ASCO and we don't have a deal. How's here?
we are contracted, yeah, good point. We are contracted by Iosco County to put our prisoners, but you still need permission from us, right?
Correct.
Because our prisoners.
Yeah, she mentioned.
Oh,
Yep, so we actually have the same with Montmorency County. They all go to Alpena County. So we still work with them. We just need Elkona's actual permission that we can work with those inmates.
we have a copy of that proposed. There it is. Any questions for Jessica? Besides mine that were already answered. Okay. Well, that was easy. Yeah, let's take care of it.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to approve and authorize the chair to sign the resolution regarding the Michigan Community Corrections Advisory Board for 2024.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded by Dave. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Okay, resolution, so we'll do a roll call, please.
Brecky,
Yes.
Yax,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Brumman.
Yes.
All set. Thanks again, Jessica.
Thank you.
With that,
Not sure. Say on that.
oh, he is not here. So.
Yeah, you're-
Oh, there he is. Well, we're still in that thing. Do you want to speak to the resolution for the community corrections grant program? You have
I
anything
read the
else?
resolution and I would recommend supporting it. It still applies to us, even though our jail is not open, our inmates still go down there and benefit from that program. So I do support that.
Well, we just approved it, and I would be remiss if Terry reminded me that you should, if you wanted to weigh in on that.
Thanks, Terry.
That it were credit to you. Okay. Moving on to Dennis Smith.
Good afternoon. I'm Dennis Smith, Millen Township Supervisor. I've got copies, but I think maybe you have copies as well.
This one, our packet, unless the color is the benefit.
No.
Okay.
Did you care for a copy?
If you go.
I've got it.
I already read it.
I've got it. Just for you. Well, again, thank you, the commissioners, for allowing me to come and present here today. The Pelt grant, I spoke to you a year ago. And discussed the Pelt issue in Millen Township. I previously requested, Pelt return monies for the township. 65% of Millen Township property is federal property, and there's no tax base for those properties. However, the U.S. Forest Service does reimburse the county at $1 an acre for those properties. That's all in the entire county. And coming before the board last year, I had an opportunity. We had 4 years from 18 through 22, that there was no pelt money distributed by the county. You had financial issues, and we understood that. But last year I presented, and you agreed through the board to come up with a 25% pelt funds reimbursed to the townships. We talk about $1. That's what comes to us each year, or it comes to you each year. And the previous years, up until 18, you gave out the township 50 cents on that $1. Then it went for years, 4 years with no money. Last year, you gave us 25 cents on that $1. This year, I'm asking for a compensation to give us another 25 cents. You keep 50 cents, we'll get 50 cents on that $1. That's the long and short of this. Mr. Gothier so eloquently spoke it last year. He said, it's only $1. And he said, that's true. That is only $1. But he didn't support it last year, and he's not here anymore. So anyway, let's go on. This 50 cents, what that represented to the Millen Township was 17% of our operational budget. And by taking that 50 cents away from us, we went 4 years without that pelt money, which is about $14,000. And that you realize by times 4, that would be some pretty substantial money that could have taken care of some projects, road business, and some discretionary spending on our buildings and things that we had problems with. Last year, you were kind enough to give us this quarter, and that represented around $8,400, and that's about 8.5% of our income. So again, where I'm asking for that 50 cents versus the $1 or the quarter. Pelt return monies to the township. Now we talked about, we were fortunate this past in 20 to receive ARPA monies. We dispersed those monies throughout the township, and some of the improvements we've had over $14,000 spent on the cemetery, $26,000 on the BC Park, the pavilion. We removed that condemned pavilion that I told Carolyn she'd be the proud owner of it if we continue down this road of poor spending habits. We re-roofed the existing pavilion, and we repainted it. And we also had the roof on the old outhouse. We removed the $5,000 of existing oak trees that were hazardous to the park area. However, as it is for you, as it is for us, yearly increases on the general operation expenses are still all taxing our taxable income. With the cemetery expansion, it's going to cost us more to deal with the lawn mowing, park maintenance. Again, just everything we seem to touch there turns into a $5,000 bill. I just got done repairing the well out there, not a new well. They pulled the old one and put a new one in, had to cut off the casing, do some different work. It was kind of costly. It was over $5,000 for a well repaired, not a new one, but a well repaired. But we're fortunate we had that. And the road maintenance, the maintenance expenses are all pacing what we're coming in. And that might sound strange to you, but what happened that year that everyone was shut down for COVID, no money was spent that year, so we've been able to fund about 3 projects a year out there. Some repaving, some of that crushed asphalt, on some dirt roads and things. So we're doing well with that. And the bottom line is wage increases. I did increase the clerk and the treasurer's wage a bit this year. Again, they're still the lowest paid in the county, but with the added responsibility they're dealing with this election business, and our treasurer setting off the taxes now that the county dumped off. That's not you, I'm about to say, but anyhow, but that's everything they're doing is becoming more complex, and so we did increase that. My concern is 24 is coming at us fast, and with the wages even that I'm paying them now, I'm having a difficult time rallying somebody to take any of these positions. I got my court is thinking very seriously about not running again. And I'm having a difficult time finding prospective people that would give me a nod and say they're interested in the position. Again, you have to compensate these people for their position. You can't pay them less than minimum wage to do a job that is a highly technical job, so. All right. And again, the next page, we talked about the increase in expenses, and kind of detailed it all, what we're looking at, what we anticipate looking at here for the next few years in the increased expenses. With the maintenance of the cemetery, maintenance of the park and repair, the road maintenance, average expenses and the wage increases for the board members. Again, we increased over everybody's, was $4,300 in trash. We're talking, if we're looking at the pelt money increase, if we can come up to that 50 cents. That will take care of our operational expenses, because that's our, again, discretionary spending. That we'll be able to maintain our township, our parks, and things that happen over there. Again, the next page talks about the restoring of the 50%, the pelt distribution to Millen Township, and in the county, we asked, last year I came in here with a pretty ambitious idea that I asked to be repaid for the 19, 20, 21, 22 year. That wasn't met with so much good reception, but I kind of knew that going in, but I appreciate you for not throwing me out of your chamber. The last couple of pages, we've talked, I've got a breakdown of what we spent on the ARPA spending. Got the 23 budget as of 9/30/23. You can see this, what we've spent to date. And then we talked about the federal lands. Again, 65% of our township is the federal lands. And again, it's nice for recreational purposes for the people that come to our community and want to ride their four-wheelers and things. But again, it does not generate tax dollars for us. And the interesting thing is, with the tax step down that we're dealing with, you know, the operational monies keep whittling away every year, and nothing's happened to replace that. So again, I'm relying on this money, this felt money, to tide us through those times. The second to last page, it talks about Millen Township and the distribution of the pelt grants through the past years. 13,000, up to 14,018, and then it jumps with nothing paid to the townships until this past 2023, where $8,393 was spent for work presented to us. Again, I realize that this dollar maybe not be a lot of money, but I'm asking for 50 cents of it. So with that, any questions?
Actually, I already know this, but you guys, do you have any military right now? Or road or anything like that?
I have road and operational. Road and operational and fire.
Okay, good.
You don't need the money? No. No. I'd like to. It's always easy to see things when it's right before you here. So, thank you.
That's, I wanted to, this is a great packet, by the way. Thank you. Thank you for the information.
Thank you.
It was well done.
I tip my hat to my clerk, she, and my treasurer, they work very well together, and they're a good team. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion at this time. To return 50% of the felt monies back to the townships. there a second?
I'll second it so we can talk about it.
Second it is. Talk away.
So what is with this, what do we give to every township right now?
Distributed by how many, federal acres you have in your township,
And we're doing 25 cents to each,
50%.
50%.
This the motion is 50%.
Or what do we do? We do it to all the counties that have federal property right now.
Alcona has, I forget how much they have.
113,000.
Acres.
Alcona has, or Alcona Township?
Oklahoma County,
Okay, in the packet.
In the back of slide 10.
No, it's 20.
You not have that.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
Sorry, it's not in your packet, that's. That's the very good one. I point out that it mostly is in the west side of the county. Mitchell Township, Curtis Township, Millen Township, White River Township. All have very sizable and lonesome properties that are strictly federal. You can just go say, oh, Mankato, half of Mankato Township. Half of it almost. Would you say? Yeah, you are, you know, uncommitted right now.
I would like to have us request that finance committee makes every effort to approach this, but for all townships that have federal property, not if there's no.
Well, it's, the motion is to distribute
Right.
equally among the townships, 50%.
There's a financial impact that needs to be defined before we can go ahead and just make this decision. I mean,
Are you moving the table?
I'm not moving to anything. I'm just telling you that if I'm gonna be opposed to this right this second, I have to be a no. Because I don't even wanna. We don't have the numbers in front of us for review to make a proper decision. You say just, well, okay, it's there, which I'm not saying they don't, I'm just. We're doing ourselves a disservice to not look at all the numbers.
If I may, slide 10, as the total payout is half of that money. That helps you.
But I'm just saying. I
I think you're talking
believe,
about after budget.
yeah, we're going through budget and we're talking about 2024 also is where this is gonna impact the heaviest, so. But like I said, that's just me, I'm one voice here, so.
We can table it and talk about it when we bring it up. 'Cause we're gonna have our budget, which.
We need to have a motion on the table.
I'll make a motion to table this for the next report meeting.
Motion table was supported. Any more comments, questions? Table till the special meeting or the next regular meeting?
Next regular meeting.
Next regular meeting on the first?
Finance, money.
Okay,
That's all. Okay.
so let's say we'll have it on old business for the first. Okay, we can talk about it again.
We can vote on the table.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm making that part of the motion for the table.
Okay.
Okay, no more discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Motion carries. Table till October 1st. November 1st. It's just presentation just happened. It's just too fast to move. But I need time to think about it. So but thank you. Presentation and numbers are great. And,
Thank you for that copy, guys.
yeah, absolutely. Here you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, then we'll move on to NEMCOG Waste Management presentation.
Y'all got a copy of this. I'm not gonna go through it slide by slide. It's kind of an hour and a half presentation, so I'm trying to keep it to less than 10 minutes here. You currently have a solid waste plan for the county. That's your part of your account. The legislation that deals with solid waste management. An update to it passed just prior to the first of the year. So that went into effect March 29th. And since that time, Eagle has kind of been analyzing that new budget, so we can develop this program. Part of it, you're going to be required to develop a new materials management plan. Those are kind of an update, the next step beyond solid waste plan, where it really just dealt with landfill capacity and regular, where's your solid waste going? Materials management is that all around approach to it now. We have to talk about recycling and pulling out compost, organics for composting, or a little bit digestion, but that energy recovery is all going to be part of the materials management plan, and it's all required. So that process is starting right now. Anytime, probably within hopefully the next couple of weeks, you will be getting a letter from Eagle. It's going to come from the Eagle director stating that the notice of intent period is open for whether you want to move forward and develop your materials management plan. You will have 180 days, so 6 months to respond to that notice of intent. There'll be several steps that you have to take as part of that notice of intent process. One of the first ones will be deciding whether you want to be what's known as the county approved list. CAA. So it's in your best interest to do that. That gives you the ultimate authority over the plan. You determine whether who you want to be on the planning committee, who you want to be the designated planning agency, things like that, and the ultimate content of your plan and goal of program you're going to have to develop. If you choose not to do that, after that 6-month period, another jurisdiction, the county, a few other agencies, NEMCOG is like you can step in and ask for an extension for legal. We can do that authority, but we don't want to do that. Currently now, NEMCOG is your designated planning agency for solid waste. We're completely willing to continue in that capacity with materials management. And we would help you through this whole notice of intent period. We'll do all the heavy lifting, write all the resolutions, things like that you're going to have to do. Just wanted you to know what's coming up over this next 6 months. Once that notice comes out, like I said, the first step would be deciding whether you want to be that county approval agency. Then you would have to look to develop your materials management planning committee. So there has to be one person from each legal jurisdiction, each township, to go with the county, a waste hauler, recycling place, a landfill, region planning agency, a whole bunch of people. You will also need to contact all of the counties around you and ask if they want to engage in multi-county planning with you to develop the plans. There's an incentive for that. So believe it or not, this is not an unfunded mandate in the state. There's actually funding behind this one. So for the first 3 years, it's $60,000 per county per year, with an additional 50 cents per capita. If you decide to do that multi-county planning and engage with at least one other county, you can have a multi-county plan, or at least coordinate the process. You get another $10,000 per county incentive for doing that. So $70,000 per county per year, plus that 50 cents per capita per year for the first 2 years to help you develop the plan and start to implement some of those. That $70,000 per year can continue on beyond that 2 years. We still the legislature changes their mind on that, but to help you continue to set up these programs.
Okay.
So as part of this notice of intent, CA is the first thing, appoint the committee. You'll then have to also appoint the designated planning agency. So to make it simple, let's say you're appointing NEMCOG again, we'll prepare everything. Technically, your responsibility would then be to develop a work program that NEMCOG will be working on it to develop your plan. Again, we will do that, send it to you for your approval. I'm sure any agency that appoints your VP would, but you're going to have 6 months to do all this, so you gotta have time to coordinate with all those counties around you. Determine who's going to group together, and whether you want to do an overall regional plan, and you're just going to coordinate in each one, and you can have your own county plan. There will be a lot of discussions coming up. 6 months is a while, but it's gonna move fast, there's gonna be a lot to do with all the different counties, so. I want to make sure you're aware of it and all the steps you're gonna have to take coming up in the next 6 months.
When does that start right now?
Well, if you go by the law, it started September 25th, but they haven't released it yet, so.
And also bring up that, I asked Jesse
Yeah, that's great.
is involved in
Great
this
for
process.
that.
He couldn't make it here.
Yeah. That would be good. You can appoint whoever you want, really, to plan committee as long as it falls within some of these guidelines. Restrictions involved, who is involved. Yeah, someone active involved, you did. Any questions? So there'll be a lot coming out. As soon as I hear anything about the notice of intent being released, I'll email you and just let you know what's out there to look for it and see what kind of help you need to get through that process. You have to go all the way through this notice of intent process, have that approved by Eagle before you become eligible for the grant funds. Once you do, then that grant comes to you. So then you can contract out to a designated planning agency and others to work on the various projects as part of the planning process. You can go back and reimburse expenses that you incurred during this notice of intent process. Go back to that date.
Do you think that the funds from the state will be adequate to fund what we need to do this, or is it gonna be a portion of what we need to get it back?
As far as developing a materials management plan, yes, it's more than sufficient. Now, you're talking about even if you didn't do multi-county, $60,000 per year.
Yeah.
For 3 years, plus that 50 cents per capita per year for 3 years. That's more than enough to do that. When it comes to beginning to implement, setting up those programs, that's really going to depend on what those programs are, how they're going to be run. If you're sticking with just Alcona County, no, it's probably not enough. If you don't have a recycling center, in that.
But with the Baltic County,
With Multnomah County,
if
someone does.
another county does, we can designate
If
it as our
Alpena
recycling.
is working and should be breaking ground pretty soon to develop a brand new MRF and material recovery, so. That will be set up to handle more than just Alpena County, it's like a regional facility. So you're gonna want to, strongly look at, should we be coordinating with Alpena, because they're gonna have this brand new MRF that can handle this recycling.
So this grant that we're getting is, PennDOT gonna be getting part of that grant, or is that just gonna stay with? the
You just said-
county?
It goes through the county.
Okay.
If you decide to designate us as your designated planning agency and have us doing work, then we would want to be reimbursed for our time to do that.
Yeah.
It'd be tough for me to say exactly what we need, if that is, is all we're doing helping you through this notice of intent process, or are we writing the plan for you? Are we helping you develop, educational and promotional materials for programs, helping you set up those programs? It's gonna depend on work. There's just gonna have to be discussions on it. Let's spell out what and then do, and then we can give you an estimate on the cost. So
And
you
you-
know what we're doing.
Sorry, you presented to neighbor counties already?
I'm going around to talking to other counties as well. I've been to Alcona County, Castillo County. I'll be in Montgomery County tomorrow. I'm gonna talk to Iosco County. Any of you are involved. We did the materials management community engagement process about a year ago, which was kind of a precursor to this of, how can we coordinate? How can these counties on each other work together? Some of these things slightly identified. Iosco County joined with us. Depending on, so they may end up coming along too.
Yeah, I mean, partnerships is the way to go, I guess, we're going to decide who's gonna take the lead on this for the commission thing.
So great leaders, what,
Well, first I'm gonna look for volunteers, obviously. But Craig's not here, but we don't have to decide that today, obviously. We're not going to let
That's
it,
a,
but this is something, it sounds like it's gonna be a big deal.
yeah, it's gonna be a big deal, except if you choose not to become that CAA and do any of this, and nobody else in the area does, then Eagle is, because it's mandated, you have to have a plan. Eagle will step in and write the plan for you. They do not want to do that, they're gonna do everything they can to help you through the process, but you don't want to let Eagle do it, because you're gonna get Eagle's plan. And they've already said their plans will state that there's no more land, no capacity. That's it, the cap is what you have. And it's like every hauler will be required to do curbside pickup of recycling. So I don't think you want to be the one to go out and tell all your haul down here, you got to start picking up cycling. There's other things that'll be in it, but yeah, you're gonna get a regional plan, a multi-county plan of some sort, and you're not gonna get to choose who you work with. If Eagle does it, you do not get any of these grant funds, but you are still gonna be required to set up these programs. So, and then you don't get the grant funding to do it, you're on your own, so you want to be proactive and be part of this process, definitely.
Okay. Well, it's in the loop. for sure.
I will definitely do that. Definitely do that. Like I said, it's right now, we're kind of sitting and waiting for this notice to come out. As soon as that does, then things will start moving pretty quick. We're doing communication a lot. People moving forward, make sure they're in on time.
Okay, and you talked to other neighboring counties on behalf of this person, this commissioner, partnership, we're open to neighboring county partnerships for sure. You can
Yes,
say,
I will relay that.
Commissioner Brady says he's happy to work with you guys.
As I talked to the county, I will relay that you are open to doing multi-county planning. And go from there. So,
Yeah, that's one of the things that talks about legal prepared. Indicates that required waste hauler
yes.
or require that waste hauler to provide recycling. What if they choose not to?
You don't have to. You're gonna have to be the one to tell them. These plans are gonna be required to set up kind of like diversion rates of, you know, how much waste can we pull out of our existing waste stream and send to recycling, or how much organics can we send to a compost facility?
How much credit, if you will, do we get for the fact that we already are doing? We are no ways a major part of our potential recycling is the total quantity of waste we counted. But,
So it's a good thing you're already doing it, because obviously you got a little bit of a base for that program set up. That's another reason you want to do it yourself is the state has a goal statewide to reduce that waste stream by 45%. If they write your plan, they could say you have to reduce 45%.
right, no, that's not the way.
If you do your plan, you can pick that percentage. They haven't really said yet on a county by county or region by region basis, whether you have to meet that 45 or you can set up something more attainable for you. But that's why you want to stay on top of this and work through it, so that you can write the plan in such a way that it is attainable for you at all cost time. So, you know,
This is
everyone's
right
gonna
at
be different.
Sheboygan's Alley.
Hmm?
This is right at Sheboygan's Alley, because they are setting by 2050, that they will be at zero.
And Sheboygan County will definitely partner with Emmett County, that, you know, because they're already summer recycling there. That's a big facility in Tosca too.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
No problem. And then, I don't know when you want to talk about the park grants.
You are not going.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can
Thank
get
you
it out
for
there.
presentation, but the question over here first.
Could you repeat your name? I missed it.
Nico Tucker, Nemcock.
The reason I say that is we have the supervisor for First Township here, so.
Yes. Okay. So when you apply for like a recreation grant for the DNR, you're kind of committed to maintaining that property in perpetuity as a park. If you were to sell it off to a private individual or something, that's what they consider illegal conversion, you could be on the hook to pay back those grant funds. So Elkona County has had several grants over the years, but there's two of them that this affects. The first one we'll cover is what is the Harrisville Township Recreation Area, which I believe now is under the city. So originally Elkona County applied for a grant for that and received it to develop some of the facilities there. We then transferred it to the township, but the DNR had no record of that. So as far as the DNR is concerned, it was an illegal conversion. So you weren't eligible to receive another grant. The other one is Elkona Park. So you received multiple grants for that years and years ago. And now the township obviously maintains it, but the DNR has no record of that. So there's been a bunch of back and forth. I have talked to the DNR grant coordinator quite a bit about it. Harrisville Township Rec Area is a little easier. She basically asked if I would send her the grant number what the grant was for, and the year it transferred to the township, and then the year the township transferred to the city, and she'll just note it, and they basically have a spreadsheet that tracks it. And that one's not a problem, she won't worry about that. So, one off the table. She asked if I would do the same thing for Oakland Park. But she has clarified a couple things, because that one was a land and water conservation fund grant, which is funding that comes through the state from the National Park Service, so there's federal funding involved. There might be a few other steps involved, and she was gonna look into that for me and get back, but I just wanted you to be aware, that she did say, as soon as I send that information, she'll note that you're working on anything that might have to be done, and but would make sure that you're eligible for recreation grants if you choose to finish a recreation plan and apply for any grants at any point.
What did that driveway transfer happen?
The one from the township, I don't remember, Harrisville Township Rec area was like 94 or 98 or something, it went to the township, and then just recently it went to the city.
Alright,
So,
that was back in, I know the park is it?
Elkhorn
1970s.
Park was a lot longer ago, yeah, the grants you had were like 73 and 76 or something when it transferred.
Okay, so we're done.
So right now it's kind of a whole
Fast
year or
here,
two, until she gets back to me.
Okay.
Other than that, I took care of it, so you're at least would be grant eligible if you choose to do a rec plan and start applying for grants for anything that we do have now.
So the question, okay, so in order to apply for grants for the future grants,
Yeah.
it needs to be straightened out. This isn't like we're
Yeah,
trying to reclaim grant that got paid, that
well-
shouldn't have, or anything like that.
No, you use the money exactly how it was supposed to be. It's still a park, it hasn't been sold to a private individual or anything, so that's fine. It's just, Vaney didn't know about it. The reason it came up was years ago. Then you had contracted, not you, the board at that time, the contract with Nemcog to develop a recreation factory. This came up, so we started looking at DNR how to address it. And they really didn't have a good way of tracking it, they didn't know what to do. And then there was board turnover, and that planning process for your plan kind of just stopped. So your plan basically never really got finished and approved with the DNR. If you want to apply for a rec grant, you have to have that finished and approved plan submitted to the DNR. And they're only good for 5 years, so. They think you're gonna update it once every 5 years. I say, if you have grants you want to apply for, update your plan, apply for a grant every year for 5 years, and then wait until the next time you apply for grants.
Is there somebody actually trying to apply for grants right now?
Well, I don't think so.
Yeah.
It would be you, it would be the county, like
The
individual townships.
Not the township.
Townships can do their own rec plan, they apply for their own grants for their
Yeah.
facilities. These will only be for recreational facilities that you own and operate.
What is about the snowmobile trails and properties, is that part of that? grant?
Well, like a lot of snowmobile trails are DNR
Yeah.
owned and operated. So you don't have to worry about them. If you wanted to build a trail and use those recreation grant funds, then yes, you have to have that plan in place to be eligible to apply for any type of recreation grant.
So, okay, but once you straighten out. Like the first one's off the table, the Harrisville one, right? So
Yeah.
we can't apply for grants for that anyway, because we don't own and
Yeah,
operate
you're not
that.
operating. it.
So when, as soon as it gets sorted out, the Alcona Park one, we will also, that will be off our,
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Like, one of the other differences is as you're doing a rec plan, you have to do what's called post completion self-certification form. You basically have to certify. Yep, we use these grant funds to develop this park and it is still a park, and
Yep.
sign it. When you go through that process now, you're basically just gonna write your name on the form and say, this was transferred to Curtis Township in 1978 or whatever it was. Sign your name, you're done. They now have to do that form in its entirety, and submit pictures and things like that.
Yeah.
Whenever they do a recreation plan. It's, you know,
I understand.
hey, thanks. Think that's it for presentation. Move on to claims. Go ahead.
Make a motion to approve pre-authorized claims and open claims presented for payment between 10/5 of 2023 and 10/18 of 2023 for check numbers 152-046 to 152-182 NE check number 2221 to 2226 for a grand total of $150,398.05.
Second. Who seconded? Any questions, comments, concerns? Roll call, please.
Brady,
Yes.
Brumman,
Yes,
Yax,
Yes.
Small.
Yes. Next up, 2034 health insurance rates. I'm gonna start with Trina is the firm representing. Couldn't make it here today. Trina's gonna give some information to us to review and a little breakdown. And then afterwards, they talk about a special meeting to put together what this with the actual company. But Trina, go ahead, please.
Jennifer Wanstead with 44 North did meet with us and go over the rates with us. You're right, she couldn't be here today. She's on the road. So I'm gonna just kind of introduce it to you and you guys can make a decision at the special meeting. Priority Health came in at a 27% increase, which is tremendous. So, she gave us a few different outlooks on raising deductibles and changing the plan, but it didn't improve our health insurance at all. So she did go out and pull the rates for Blue Care Network. And she's recommending that we switch from Priority Health to Blue Care Network. She was able to keep the deductibles at the 2,000, 4,000 and the co-insurance at 20%. The prescription coverage is a little bit better with Blue Care Network. If you look at the prescription line in comparison to the Priority Health, it does go over $15 to $10, $50 to $30. These are office visits, co-pays. The only problem with the Blue Care Network quote in the first column that's blue, you will see an increase of the out-of-pocket max. It's going from 7,000 to 8,000. However, it's overall, it's a 17.22% increase rather than the 22.34 that Priority Health came in on. The second blue column to your right would be the Blue Care Network for the straight plan. And that's the, in Priority Health, that came in at the 27.16 increase, where the straight plan with Blue Care Network is 13.04%. So that gives us a total combined increase cost of 22.74%. She is recommending that the county reviews the PA 152 hard cap, as that would keep our costs down. And at that point, the employee would be responsible for an amount. There is a blue section that's below your columns that will give you the single, double, and family amounts that they would be responsible for monthly. And that's basically the information in front of you. Do you have any questions?
So my recommendation is that everybody have a chance to digest this, come up with some questions. And Jennifer Wanstead can meet with us on the Friday, the 27th. And what I also like to do is if we can have a special meeting that day. And she can be available at 11 a.m., but I'd like to start at 10 and start having department heads and do budget review with board.
27.
Yeah, 27, if we can. We'll start at 10, start working on budgets. And then when she come in 11 o'clock, everybody can have their questions, and then that day we can also make some choices on what we're gonna do about healthcare, because enrollment starts on the 13th of November.
Jennifer Wanstead will be here in person to go over open enrollment. So if there's
Okay.
any
Oh, it's
personal
Jennifer
questions,
Campbell,
that,
I did, yeah, my bad. Go ahead, sorry.
if there's any personal questions that any employees have regarding their plans, she's gonna have a team here to help them enroll and answer any questions they may have on that day as well.
On the 13th?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. Yep,
I
okay.
did also want to mention, this just covers the health insurance portion of it. Cheryl just reminded me that I didn't discuss dental and vision, and it's important because, Delta Dental has been under billing and a lot of times coming out of network. So we did find that if we switch our networks to MetLife, we can keep the cost the same for both dental and vision, and you would have the same benefit.
As it was last year. Yeah.
Lincoln Financial will also remain the same, so it's really just the health insurance increase that we're taking a look at.
So if you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to Jennifer anytime you want, you know, her emails are on our, we all have access to it. If you want to privately do it, I've called her before. But she can come in and do it. That way we can be well informed when she comes in and can have some good questions. And get this figured out because we got some hard choices to make. It just is what it is. Any other questions, Trina? Okay, thanks a lot. You know what I forgot to do is I forgot to add in an ARPA request, but you know what, we're doing our finance report. That way I don't have to feel silly about it. I'll feel silly anyway. But we have an ARPA request for Albert Lake Community Center.
Correct. $1,000.
Yep, and this went before the ARPA committee and they approved it to be brought to us to approve. What about the copies of this one?
It was sent to your email.
Yeah.
ago.
Is that? Yeah, you don't have it in your packet. This is new. This is why I'm shoving it in here, but they're asking for $20,000,
Yeah, for 25 to 30.
25 to 30. With the ARPA committee is recommending 20,000.
Yes.
To go towards this project from the ARPA funds.
Building a new community center.
Yeah.
Raise,
North of Albert Lake.
Yes.
There's a north end.
yeah, it will, which will
She came in and presented to us
include the library
a while back.
this last summer.
Probably lose some
Getting old.
Library.
Yeah, within the summertime she came in. Yes, I remember that.
And June.
She had drawings or.
Yep, so she went through all the proper channels and now the ARPA committee is saying they recommend 20,000 and now it's up to us to decide if we want to go ahead and do that. Anybody feel like to make that motion?
Make a motion to approve the 20,000 from ARPA for the Upper Lake Community Center.
Support.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? We'll have to roll call it.
Cronin,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
Reggie,
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, moving on in the finance report. We don't have any money to move around today, right? Correct. We I mean, today we're working us and the budget preparers are in the process of getting information back from departments, although it's happening slowly. The deadline is Friday, get everything in. And then we want to start having meetings, well, obviously, a week from Friday. We want to start our first lineup to have the commissioners go through the budgets as presented, so. Anything else, Dave?
Just went over and a court, this jury trial that's coming up is gonna be testing, I think, our building. It's gonna start Monday after Thanksgiving.
And there's gonna be some extra costs involved, when you got 3 cases till the end of the year. So we're working to make sure that all that stays funded. And, as, money gets shoved around, like that, for some, some's already available within budgets, and so on to ask. for it, but other than that, I don't think I have anything else. Move on to personnel.
Well, this one has got a contract. Yeah, right. We'll bring that baby here.
Top 3 copies are signature copies, the full contract.
So this is the same as, same as the intent, or what was called the, yeah,
Yeah.
there's nothing different.
There's nothing different.
You reviewed this, correct?
I have wording or something.
What is all the?
On this contract?
This from glass.
So that.
Yeah, that's the entire contract. And the wording that was in that tentative agreement was inserted into that.
Now, we're only 4 out of 5 today. I understand everything's are good, that's how things go. And also, there may be people that want to look this over line for line before they put their stamp on it. Does anybody have that feeling that this should be postponed until the next meeting? Review? Make your, or make a motion to approve, it's up to you, or we already have a motion to approve. But the thing is, we approved the memorandum of understanding. And if any of this is different, then. Yeah, I don't know, I'm waiting, somebody will make a motion to approve the contract, because we did approve the member. Have a second? I don't have a second, so let's have a chance to look this over. I mean, it doesn't start till, does this affect negotiation for the next unit at all, Scott? or-
No, it doesn't.
So-
Usually they kind of mirror.
It's okay if we take an opportunity to vote on this on the first.
I think the two on the negotiating committee have had this contract for a couple of weeks to review, but maybe they haven't shared it with the folks, so
I apologize. You should have gotten copies. Yes. We did that.
I can forward it to you electronically if you'd like, or share it can.
Let's just, we'll just make copies of this and that way we're not having that either, because it's still kind of up in the air. I don't like email anymore because all the things that can go wrong. So anyway, we'll review this and then we'll put it on unfinished business for the first. I apologize, but I think we would be, if there's all kinds of potential for bad stuff to happen. All right, good. Now, anything else personnel? Equalization, okay, well, I'll talk about equalization. Equalization, there's a meeting tomorrow to discuss extension and or new contract. We get through the rest of the year, and that will be on the agenda for the special meeting on the 27th. But prior to that, as soon as they come up with the options, all commissioners will see it. It won't be here, it is on this day. I'll make sure of that. I asked for it. That's it for personnel. Let's do the treasurer's report, please.
We've been working on the budget, sending out the budgets for 24 in the office. We had our re-offer sale, the 2 properties that were sold in the first option, not purchased. They didn't get paid for. They were re-offered to the people who had bid on it before, and they were both sold. So I will be getting you, I just got the deeds yesterday, and they were recorded yesterday.
So I will be getting you an updated sales report. And we've been working on our updating some information for the delinquent tax revolving fund and the sales fund, working those budgets. To be a little clearer, so everyone has an idea of what is encumbered funds for those things, for those items in there, so everybody can maybe get a clear picture on what the funding in those two funds do. So we've been working on that. Other than that, finishing up the year, we're looking at, I believe we're six. We're gonna need some updating from different departments on what's been filled out and what they're anticipating for their revenues for the end of the year. I know we're in kind of a crazy phase right now where we're trying to get ready for 24, but we also need to clean up 23. And as far as grants and reporting, where we run into issues is with the state fiscal year ending, and we're on a calendar year. And I know you had approved a few funds to be running on the state fiscal year. Those, I haven't got those budgets yet, but once we do receive those, we'll be able to get that working and moving forward. But other than that, we've just been kind of slow on the tax payments. The October fee went on. We've had a lot of phone calls, and I do need to have Curtis Township representative. You know, that we have not got our tax dollars from them. I know there's been some issues in the township, but we maybe reach out from you would be good. To contact them and get our tax dollars.
Township?
Yeah, are you not the rep for that?
Yes.
Might want to reach out and see if we can get some of those tax dollars coming in. And the state as well, because we have to distribute to the state as well. And that's all I got. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you. First report.
Well, we've got a lot going on lately. Public accuracy for the elections will be at the townships. It'll be held Monday and Tuesday next week. The notice for the election will be in the next week's paper. We're working hard in our office to assist with budgeting for 2024 and open enrollment for the health insurance. Like we discussed earlier, it will be held on November 13th at 9 a.m. 44 North will be here to assist with enrollments. We are going electronic this year, so we'll be filling out enrollments on a portal, and I will have access to that, and any changes, and employees will have access to changing and reporting with their own insurance as well. So we're going to be making that change, and I think that's it. Any questions?
Nope, but send out some flyers, get any help with everything else coming in, so.
Thank you.
All right, any of us, or all of us.
Appreciate that.
Communications, everyone in your packet, review at your leisure. Day committee reports.
On the building department, we are working on our jail cell next to the courtroom. I think the actual cell will be shipped this Friday, like 3 days. And they're just, once the jail cell gets here, they can finish doing the toilet and plumbing and everything else. So that's going on track to be done in order for the trial that we have in November. On my Caledonia Township, our treasurer resigned. So I think Cheryl is going to contract with them for.
I've offered them.
Okay. And
That has to go through the board before I have.
okay. That's fine. All I have going on.
Okay. I still work on main finance stuff, so.
Just attended the CMH meeting. Nothing to report from there.
as of right now. Top person, nothing I can report about that. That's all. Carolyn,
We spent a significant amount of time rewriting and developing the personnel handbook for ACCLA. We finished with the last section this morning. And it is going to be, our suggested changes and so on, Trina's suggested changes and so on. Are going to, go to the executive director for her review. And then it will ultimately go out to the board members. And from there, it will be adopted by the board members, possibly they're meeting Tuesday, but not so positive. And it's been a significant undertaking. But it seems that we've got it accomplished, and that's certainly a good thing. 211 budget was approved by the executive committee at yesterday, Tuesday, and is going to their full board meeting in November, the third Wednesday. I'm sorry, the third Tuesday of the month. Sunrise is beginning to work on obtaining funds and grants for their building project. And the opioid meeting that would normally be scheduled for next Wednesday may be modified because there is the recovery court. The recovery court graduation next Wednesday. So what we may be doing is having the members of the opioid committee attend the recovery court graduation. So we'll see how that goes. The other thing that I would, which is probably more important than any of these things, is we are in great need of a chairman and workers for our recycling committee. Our chairman, the individual who has been overseeing the recycling, along with the tire pickup and the electronic one, is getting, they're past getting burned out. They are burned out. And you can really that old story, you lead the horse to water, but you can't necessarily make him drink. Well, that's kind of where they are, and they really do recycle, especially with the what we heard from NIMCOG, the need for someone to take it over and to then also encourage folks to utilize it and then to also be workers. So I think you can sign up for a half day if you can't do it for the whole day. It is always the second Saturday of the month, unless it's a holiday or something like that. So I urge you to talk to your neighbors or talk to yourself about, I'm going to give a part of one Saturday a month to do that. And I could also perhaps someone here in the audience or knows of someone that would be willing to take it over as chairman of recycling. It would be extremely helpful, and it would allow us to continue that in Alcona County. If we don't get anybody to step up, it may go by the wayside, and that would be a shame. I can't tell you how long it's been going on, for quite a while, and it's been considerable effort, not only on the chairman, but those who have seen to it that there were workers there. So I urge you to give some serious thought to that. And that's about all.
okay. Last section of public comment, 5 minutes, please identify yourself. Over that line, over your house, okay? Commissioner, additional comment? Nothing? Meeting adjourned until November 1st, 2023.